Welcome to Healthy Aging Wisdom, where we believe your body was designed to heal itself, and that aging doesn't mean decline, it means refinement. You're not here to give up. You're here because something inside you knows there's still strength left to rebuild, clarity left to unlock, and muscle still waiting to return. Let me ask you a simple question. What if a piece of fruit, yes, fruit, could do more for your aging muscles than the expensive protein shakes and gym memberships everyone's pushing? Because here's the truth that almost nobody's talking about: sarcopenia, the gradual loss of muscle after age 60, is not just about protein, it's about inflammation, mitochondria, blood sugar control, mineral absorption, and hormonal balance. And that's where the right fruits come in, not as sugar bombs, but as biochemical support systems. They don't just feed you, they awaken systems inside you that have been dormant for years. See, somewhere along the way, we were taught to fear fruit. Too much sugar, they said, too many carbs. But that advice left out the deeper science, the role of antioxidants, fiber-bound glucose, potassium-driven hydration, and enzyme activity that supports muscle repair and metabolic recovery in older adults. What's happening in your body as you age is not just about wear and tear, it's about what your cells are missing. After 60, your muscle fibers don't just shrink because you're inactive, they shrink because your mitochondria are starving for polyphenols. Your insulin sensitivity is downregulated, and your recovery cycles are getting weaker. The right fruits can change that. They can lower inflammation, restore nitric oxide flow, reduce oxidative stress, and even help rebuild lean mass naturally. And let's be clear, we're not talking about fruit juices or processed fruit-flavored snacks. We're talking about 5 specific fruits backed by science that have the potential to fight sarcopenia at its root by working with your physiology, not against it. In this video, you'll discover how certain fruit compounds trigger muscle regeneration and reduce inflammation, why potassium and natural fruit acids are critical for amino acid utilization, how antioxidants in specific fruits protect your mitochondria, the engines of your muscle cells, which fruits to eat, and how to combine them for maximum muscle recovery. We'll also cover practical, easy-to-follow daily protocols, like the best time to eat fruit for older adults, how to combine it with protein or minerals, and how to avoid common mistakes that block absorption. So if you care about sleeping deeper, healing faster, and aging with energy, make sure to watch until the end and subscribe so you don't miss the natural wisdom your body is craving. Let's start with something your doctor probably hasn't told you. Your muscles don't get weaker simply because of age. They weaken because your mitochondria, the tiny engines inside your muscle cells, begin to slow down. And that slowdown is largely influenced by what you feed them. Now, what do mitochondria love? They love polyphenols, natural plant compounds that protect and stimulate them. One in particular stands out: quercetin. Quercetin is found in fruits like apples, berries, and dark grapes. It's not just an antioxidant, it actually stimulates something called mitochondrial biogenesis, which means it helps your body build new mitochondria and repair the old ones. In a 2010 study published in the American Journal of Physiology, researchers showed that quercetin significantly increased both endurance and mitochondrial density in muscle tissue. And that's key, because the more mitochondria you have in your muscle fibers, the more strength, energy, and recovery power you retain as you age. This becomes even more relevant after 60. As you grow older, the oxidative damage to your mitochondria increases, and your body's ability to generate new ones declines. That's part of what makes your muscles feel more sluggish, less responsive, and slower to recover from even small activity. So when you eat fruits rich in quercetin and polyphenols, you're not just consuming nutrients, you're upgrading the core engine of every muscle contraction. Let's look at an example. A simple red apple, especially with the skin, is a great source of quercetin, but its power doesn't stop there. Apples also contain pectin, a type of soluble fiber that supports gut health. And when your gut microbiome is thriving, inflammation decreases, which further supports muscle recovery and mitochondrial efficiency. It's all connected. But here's the catch. Not all fruits are created equal, and not all timing is optimal. If you eat a quercetin-rich fruit alongside something processed and high in sugar, the insulin spike can actually block the mitochondrial signaling. That's why it's best to consume these fruits either on their own or with a clean source of protein, like some pasture-raised eggs, collagen powder, or even a handful of walnuts. Timing also matters. Research shows that mitochondrial repair is most active in the late afternoon and early evening, especially after light physical activity. So one powerful protocol you can try is this. After a walk or gentle strength routine, eat a small bowl of blueberries or black grapes. These fruits are high in both polyphenols and resveratrol, another mitochondrial enhancer. You're essentially feeding your muscle cells right when they're most ready to regenerate. And don't be afraid of the sugar in these fruits. Whole fruits, eaten in moderation and not juiced or dried, come with fiber, water, and complex structures that slow down glucose release. This prevents insulin spikes and keeps your muscle tissue in an anabolic or building state. Remember, it's not about cutting carbs to zero, it's about choosing carbs that heal instead of harm. Another key fruit to consider is dark cherries. They're loaded with anthocyanins, which work synergistically with quercetin to reduce inflammation and support recovery. In fact, one study found that tart cherry juice reduced muscle soreness and weakness in older adults after resistance training. Again, the power isn't in some exotic powder or synthetic supplement. It's in a fruit your grandparents probably picked off a tree. If this is helping you see health differently, tap the like button. It helps us reach more people who need this. Now let's talk about something that often goes overlooked: digestion. As we age, stomach acid and enzyme production decline. That means you might not be breaking down the beneficial compounds in your food as efficiently as you used to. To counter this, try pairing quercetin-rich fruits with a small amount of fermented food, like sauerkraut or kefir. The enzymes and probiotics help unlock the polyphenols and enhance absorption. This is what functional nutrition is all about: synergy. So if you're over 60 and feeling like your strength is slipping, don't just reach for more protein. Start by healing your mitochondria, because that's where muscle really begins. Fruits rich in quercetin and polyphenols are not sugary indulgences. They are muscle medicine, straight from nature. Subscribe if you're learning something new, because there's more natural healing wisdom to come. Let's take a moment to look deeper into something most people overlook: minerals. When we talk about muscle strength, everyone focuses on protein. But your muscles don't just need protein to grow, they need electrical balance, they need charge. And that charge comes from electrolytes. One of the most important electrolytes for muscle health, especially after 60, is potassium. Your body relies on potassium to trigger every single muscle contraction. Without enough potassium, your muscles don't fire properly. They cramp, they tire easily, they lose tone. But here's the good news: nature has given us a way to replenish it daily, and it comes from certain fruits. Let's break this down physiologically. Inside your muscle fibers, there's a constant exchange of sodium and potassium. When a nerve tells your muscle to contract, sodium rushes in and potassium rushes out, creating the electrical spark that powers movement. But if you're low in potassium, that balance is disrupted. Your muscles lose their responsiveness. Recovery slows. You feel weaker even if you're eating well. Now, potassium deficiency is incredibly common in older adults, not because we don't eat enough, but because medications, stress, poor hydration, and even low stomach acid all deplete it faster than we can replace it. And when potassium is low, sarcopenia accelerates. You're not just losing strength, you're losing the mineral foundation that keeps your muscle tissue alive and electrically active. So where do fruits come in? Some of the most potassium-rich fruits, like bananas, avocados, kiwis, apricots, and oranges, provide this mineral in a form that's naturally buffered with fiber, water, and other synergistic compounds. This means your body absorbs it gently and uses it effectively without the blood sugar crash you might get from processed foods or artificial supplements. Let's talk about avocados for a moment. While not sweet, they're technically a fruit and one of the richest natural sources of potassium. Just one avocado contains more potassium than 2 bananas, but it also comes with healthy fats and magnesium, a combination that helps maintain cell membrane integrity, reduce cramping, and stabilize blood sugar during muscle repair. A simple half avocado added to your breakfast or mashed into a salad can help regulate your electrolyte balance for the entire day. And then there's the humble kiwi, a powerful yet underrated fruit. Not only is it rich in potassium, but it's also high in vitamin C, folate, and enzymes that aid in protein digestion. For seniors trying to rebuild muscle, this matters, because it's not just about eating more, it's about absorbing more. One study published in the Asia-Pacific Journal of Clinical Nutrition showed that kiwi enhances protein digestion by promoting the breakdown of complex peptides, making your post-meal amino acids more bioavailable for muscle growth. Timing again plays a key role. The best time to consume potassium-rich fruits is either mid-morning or post-exercise. This is when your cells are most insulin sensitive and your muscles are actively pulling in nutrients for repair. A practical protocol after light strength training or a brisk walk: enjoy a small bowl of sliced banana and kiwi with a sprinkle of sea salt or hemp seeds. This combination restores your potassium, provides hydration, and gives your muscles the raw materials they need to recover faster. And let's talk hydration for a moment. You can be drinking water all day, but if you don't have the right minerals in your system, like potassium, that water won't actually get into your cells. That's why athletes use electrolyte formulas. But you don't need expensive powders. You just need smart food combinations. Potassium-rich fruits, when paired with a little sea salt and healthy fat, create a natural electrolyte formula inside your body, one that helps your muscles hydrate and recover without the chemicals. If this kind of natural healing insight speaks to you, give this video a like. It helps this message reach others who've been told their decline is inevitable. Another practical tip: pair potassium-rich fruit with magnesium in your evening meal. For example, combine a few slices of orange with pumpkin seeds or spinach at dinner. This combo supports nerve relaxation, muscle recovery during sleep, and helps prevent nighttime leg cramps, a common sign of mineral depletion in older adults. You don't need to fight your body, just understand it. Your muscles want to work, they want to grow, but they need the minerals, timing, and hydration to do so. Potassium is not optional, it's foundational, and nature's fruits, when chosen wisely, give you exactly what your muscles have been waiting for. Subscribe if you're learning how to work with your body, because the next fruits on this list will surprise you even more. Now let's shift our attention from the muscle fibers themselves to what holds them together. Because even if you eat all the right protein, if your connective tissue is weak, your tendons, ligaments, fascia, then your muscles won't function at full strength. They'll feel tight, unstable, or prone to injury. And as we age, this tissue starts to break down unless we feed it the nutrients it's quietly begging for. This is where vitamin C-rich fruits come into the picture, not as immune boosters, but as collagen activators. Here's the physiological truth. Your body needs vitamin C to synthesize collagen. Without it, the enzymes that build and cross-link collagen fibers can't function properly. And collagen is the protein that creates the scaffolding of your joints, tendons, ligaments, and even the matrix that surrounds your muscle cells. It's what allows your muscles to pull, stretch, and recover without tearing or inflaming the surrounding tissue. Now, after 60, collagen production drops dramatically, often by more than 1% per year. This makes your muscles more vulnerable to micro tears, soreness, and delayed recovery. But the right fruits, rich in vitamin C, bioflavonoids, and other cofactors, can gently stimulate your body's own collagen synthesis again, and that changes everything. Let's talk about guava for a moment. It's one of the richest fruits in vitamin C, far more than oranges, and also contains a natural balance of copper and folate, both of which play supporting roles in collagen formation. Eating just one guava a day provides more than 200% of your recommended daily intake of vitamin C, enough to reawaken the fibroblasts in your connective tissue that lay down new collagen. But it's not just about raw quantity, it's about synergy. Fruits like strawberries, papaya, and citrus fruits contain not just vitamin C, but the plant pigments, like hesperidin and rutin, that enhance vitamin C absorption and retention. These compounds protect the fragile molecules from oxidation, helping your body actually use the nutrients you're giving it. Here's a common example I recommend to my clients over 60. A mid-morning smoothie made with half a papaya, a handful of strawberries, and a tablespoon of collagen peptides. The vitamin C in the fruit activates the amino acids in the collagen, telling your body it's time to rebuild. You're giving it both the raw materials and the spark. Now you might be wondering, what about just taking a vitamin C pill? Doesn't that do the same thing? Not quite. Most synthetic vitamin C supplements contain ascorbic acid alone, without the natural flavonoids, enzymes, and buffering agents that fruits provide. This can lead to poor absorption, digestive upset, or even interfere with copper metabolism long term. Real food delivers vitamin C in the living matrix, exactly the way your body evolved to receive it. Let's not forget about cherries and berries. These fruits contain not only vitamin C, but also anthocyanins, powerful antioxidants that protect the existing collagen in your tissues from breakdown. One study published in the Journal of Nutrition found that older adults who consumed more anthocyanin-rich berries had better muscle strength and reduced inflammation in connective tissue. If you've ever had that lingering joint pain after activity or felt that your body takes longer to bounce back than it used to, that's your collagen and connective tissue asking for help. And that help doesn't have to come in a bottle. It can come from a grapefruit in the morning or a papaya with your afternoon tea. Here's a protocol you can try tonight. Enjoy half a kiwi and a handful of blueberries with dinner. Not only do you get vitamin C and polyphenols, but you also support collagen synthesis while your body enters the deep repair cycles of sleep. This is when your tendons rebuild microtears, your fascia regains elasticity, and your joints recover from daily movement. And here's something hopeful. Collagen isn't just a cosmetic molecule. It's deeply tied to your body's ability to move, lift, recover, and thrive. When you support collagen, you support dignity, you support freedom. You don't need to fight your body, just support it with what it's truly missing. If this kind of muscle wisdom is bringing you clarity, hit the like button and subscribe. We're only halfway through, and the next fruit might be the missing piece your circulation has been craving. Let's go deeper now into the bloodstream, because even if you're eating all the right nutrients, if they aren't getting delivered to your muscles efficiently, you'll still feel sluggish, sore, and underpowered. And what determines delivery? Circulation, specifically the flow of blood through your capillaries and into your muscle tissue. And the master switch that controls this flow is a gas your own body produces, nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is your body's natural vasodilator. It tells your blood vessels to relax and open up, allowing more oxygen, nutrients, and healing compounds to reach your tissues, especially during and after movement. But here's the catch. Nitric oxide production declines dramatically with age. That's why many people over 60 start experiencing cold hands and feet, slower wound healing, and yes, reduced muscle recovery. Now here's the good news. Certain fruits, often overlooked, are rich in natural nitrates and enzymes that stimulate your body to produce more nitric oxide. This means better blood flow, faster nutrient delivery, and enhanced recovery after even small amounts of exercise. One of the best examples is beetroot, which many don't realize is a root fruit. Beets are exceptionally high in dietary nitrates, which the body converts into nitric oxide via the salivary pathway. In a clinical trial published in Hypertension, researchers found that older adults who consume beetroot juice experienced significant improvements in blood vessel dilation and blood pressure, two critical factors in muscle oxygenation. But it's not just about beets. Pomegranate is another fruit with powerful nitric oxide boosting effects. It's rich in punicle agents and ellagic acid, antioxidant compounds that protect existing nitric oxide from being broken down by oxidative stress. This preservation effect makes every drop of nitric oxide you produce go further. Here's what this means for your muscles. When you eat fruits like pomegranate, watermelon, or beetroot, you're increasing the volume and quality of blood flow to your muscle tissue. That means more oxygen during movement, more nutrients during recovery, and faster removal of metabolic waste that causes soreness. Let's talk about watermelon. Most people think of it as just sugar and water, but it's actually one of the highest natural sources of citrulline, an amino acid that gets converted into arginine, which then fuels nitric oxide production. In other words, watermelon supports your body's ongoing ability to make nitric oxide from within. One study from the Journal of Applied Physiology found that citrulline supplementation improved muscle oxygenation and endurance in older adults, and the natural form from food is even better tolerated. Here's a simple protocol. Enjoy a small bowl of fresh watermelon or drink unsweetened beetroot juice about 90 minutes before your walk, yoga session, or resistance band workout. This primes your circulatory system to deliver oxygen and nutrients to your working muscles, reducing fatigue and boosting post-exercise repair. Now, why does this matter so much after 60? Because circulation is one of the first systems to decline with age. Your endothelial lining, the inner layer of your blood vessels, gets stiffer, less responsive. Your capillaries begin to narrow. And that means even if your muscles want to rebuild, they can't receive what they need. This is why so many older adults struggle to gain muscle, even when eating more protein. The delivery system is compromised. That's why nitric oxide boosting fruits are essential. They don't just feed your muscles, they open the highway to get nutrients there. And don't forget enzymes. Fruits like pineapple and papaya are rich in proteolytic enzymes, bromelain and papain, which reduce inflammation and support tissue repair. These enzymes also help break down damaged proteins in scar tissue in the muscles, allowing new functional muscle fibers to form more easily. One overlooked strategy is combining a nitric oxide-rich fruit with an enzyme-rich fruit. For example, pairing pomegranate seeds with fresh pineapple after your workout. You're enhancing blood flow and accelerating tissue breakdown and rebuild, the two pillars of recovery. If this is opening your eyes to how much control you still have over your healing, give this video a like. It helps us share this with others who deserve better than decline. You don't need to chase youth. You need to nourish circulation, because when your blood flows freely, your muscles come back to life. One rep, one walk, one healing choice at a time. Subscribe if you're learning something new, because the fruit still ahead may be the key to your inflammation, energy, and muscle metabolism. Now let's address a silent force that can quietly dismantle your muscle mass, even if you're eating enough and moving regularly. That force is unstable blood sugar. What many people don't realize is that sarcopenia, or muscle wasting, is not just about inactivity. It's also about hormonal signals, and blood sugar plays a direct role in sending those signals. Here's how it works. When your blood sugar spikes and crashes repeatedly, your body releases stress hormones like cortisol. Cortisol, in small amounts, is helpful. It wakes you up in the morning, keeps inflammation in check. But when it's chronically elevated due to poor glycemic control, it turns catabolic. That means it begins breaking down muscle tissue to use for emergency fuel. Over time, this hormonal pattern, high cortisol, low insulin sensitivity, creates an environment where your body prioritizes fat storage and sacrifices lean mass. Now, this doesn't just happen with obvious junk foods. Even well-meaning older adults trying to eat healthy often rely on things like fruit juices, white bread, low-fat cereal, or dried fruits that cause blood sugar to rise too rapidly. The key here is glycemic load, how fast and how much of food raises your blood sugar. That's why fiber-dense, low-glycemic fruits are so essential after 60. They don't just taste good, they stabilize your hormones and protect your muscle mass. Let's take an example. Blueberries. These tiny berries are low in sugar, high in fiber, and packed with anthocyanins, plant compounds that slow glucose absorption and reduce post-meal insulin spikes. In fact, studies show that regular blueberry intake improves insulin sensitivity in older adults, particularly those with metabolic syndrome. That means more stable energy, better glucose control, and less catabolic hormone activity. Or consider green apples, crisp, tart, and incredibly stabilizing. Their fiber binds to sugars and starches in the digestive tract, slowing their entry into the bloodstream. This reduces the glycemic impact of the whole meal. One simple protocol you can try: eat a sliced green apple with a few almonds or a scoop of nut butter in the afternoon. You get the sweetness you're craving, but with a slow, steady energy release that supports muscle repair instead of blocking it. Now here's where this becomes empowering. When you stabilize your blood sugar, you optimize the release of insulin in small, efficient bursts. And insulin, when properly regulated, is actually an anabolic hormone. It tells your muscle cells to pull in nutrients and grow. The problem isn't insulin, it's excess. When blood sugar is constantly spiking, insulin becomes resistant, and that message stops getting through. But with low glycemic fruits, you support the body's natural rhythms. You give insulin a purpose again. Fruits like raspberries, blackberries, pears, and even avocados. Yes, again, a fruit, all play a role here. They deliver soluble fiber that not only slows sugar absorption, but also feeds beneficial gut bacteria, and that gut connection matters. Because when your microbiome is balanced, inflammation goes down, and your hormonal signaling becomes more precise. This is the quiet power of fiber. It doesn't just keep things moving, it shapes your metabolism. Let's talk food timing. One mistake many older adults make is eating fruit by itself, especially in the morning. A plain banana or orange on an empty stomach can spike blood sugar, especially if you're insulin resistant. Instead, pair low glycemic fruits with fat or protein. A few slices of pear with goat cheese, some berries stirred into full-fat yogurt, a half avocado alongside eggs. These combinations not only taste delicious, they create a glycemic buffer that supports muscle recovery all day long. This is helping you reconnect the dots between food, hormones, and your energy. Go ahead and like this video. These natural truths have been buried under diet confusion for far too long. Now let me leave you with a deeper thought. Your body isn't punishing you when blood sugar goes up and down. It's adapting. It's trying to protect you. But over time, those adaptations can backfire. What you need is consistency. Fiber-dense, low glycemic fruits give your body stability, and stability is the foundation of strength. You don't need to cut all carbs. You don't need to fear fruit. You just need to understand the timing and context and choose fruits that nourish without overstimulating. And when you do, your muscles will thank you with better energy, better strength, and less inflammation. Let me explain. Every day your cells are exposed to free radicals, unstable molecules that damage tissues, disrupt DNA, and accelerate aging. This process is called oxidation, and while it's natural, it becomes more aggressive with age, poor diet, inactivity, medications, and chronic inflammation. Your muscles, being rich in mitochondria and metabolic activity, are especially vulnerable. This is where anthocyanins come in, the deeply pigmented antioxidants found in dark-skinned fruits like blackberries, blueberries, tart cherries, elderberries, and black grapes. These compounds don't just reduce inflammation, they directly neutralize free radicals and preserve the structure and integrity of your muscle fibers. Think of them like internal armor, subtle, powerful, and essential. Let's take tart cherries as a prime example. Tart cherry extract has been studied in both athletes and older adults. Why? Because it significantly reduces markers of muscle damage and speeds up recovery. This is profound. We're not just talking about feeling better, we're talking about literally protecting muscle tissue from microscopic wear and tear. That matters even more as you age, when repair mechanisms slow down and inflammation rises. Now look at blackberries, loaded with vitamin C, manganese, and a dense array of polyphenols. These nutrients assist in collagen formation and mitochondrial function, keeping your muscles not just strong but metabolically efficient. Blackberries are especially high in ellagic acid, the compound that supports detoxification pathways and reduces inflammation in the muscle microenvironment. Then there's elderberry, one of the most ancient medicinal berries known to man. Its dark purple-black color signals one thing: ultra-concentrated anthocyanins. While it's often used for immune support, recent studies show elderberry's extracts can lower oxidative stress and upregulate protective enzymes like glutathione, the master antioxidant that helps preserve muscle, nerve, and liver function. So what does this mean practically? It means if you're over 60, you need to see certain fruits not just as sweet treats, but as therapeutic tools, targeted support for the most vulnerable parts of your physiology. You can take action with a simple protocol. Start your morning or end your day with a half cup of frozen wild blueberries, far higher in anthocyanins than standard blueberries. Add them to a smoothie or mix into chia pudding. Try drinking tart cherry juice concentrate diluted in water post-workout or before bed. It supports melatonin release too, aiding deep muscle recovery through sleep. Sprinkle a handful of blackberries or black grapes into your oatmeal, yogurt, or salad and pair it with healthy fats like flax or walnuts to enhance absorption of these antioxidants. If you're feeling experimental, elderberry syrup, sugar-free, can be taken in small amounts a few times per week to boost your cellular defense system. But let me offer you a deeper insight. Antioxidants like anthocyanins don't work like drugs. They don't override the system. They restore balance. They allow your body's innate healing wisdom to return to center to repair damage before it spirals out of control. That's the real beauty of natural medicine. It honors the body's rhythms instead of disrupting them. The more anthocyanin-rich fruits you include, the more you support microcirculation, the tiny blood vessels that deliver oxygen and nutrients to your muscles. With age, these vessels stiffen and narrow, but these compounds help keep them flexible and open, which means more nourishment reaches the muscle, more toxins are removed, and recovery improves. And here's one more empowering note. When you combine this antioxidant protection with movement, even gentle daily walking, you signal your body that your muscles matter. You're using them, you're feeding them, you're protecting them, and that's when the body responds, by rebuilding, restoring, and strengthening what age tries to take away. If you found clarity and confidence from this fruit-powered wisdom, please like and subscribe to Healthy Aging Wisdom. This is where your future strength begins, with daily natural choices that work with your biology, not against it. In a moment, I'll wrap up with your final protocols and practical tips, but take this with you. Every time you choose a fruit with deep color, fiber, and antioxidant power, you're doing more than eating healthy. You're declaring to your body, I'm still building, I'm not done yet. Let's tie everything together. If you've stayed with me this far, you already know sarcopenia isn't just about aging. It's about neglecting the muscle. It's what happens when we stop feeding, moving, and protecting our muscle tissue the way nature intended. But here's the good news. Your muscles are listening. Even after 60, 70, or 80, they're still responding, still ready to grow. All they need is the right fuel and the right signals. And that's what these 5 powerful fruit categories deliver. Avocados giving your muscles potassium, magnesium, healthy fats, and muscle protective antioxidants. Guavas flooding your tissues with vitamin C, fiber, and muscle repairing micronutrients. Bananas, especially green ones, stabilizing blood sugar and fueling recovery through natural electrolytes. Kiwis high in vitamin C, serotonin boosting compounds, and enzyme rich support for digestion and absorption. Dark berries like blueberries, tart cherries, and blackberries, neutralizing inflammation and protecting your muscles from oxidative stress. These aren't just snacks, they're your functional medicine allies, chosen not for their sweetness, but for their synergy with your physiology. So how do you implement all of this? Here says your Sarcopenia fighting fruit protocol. Step 1. Start your morning with metabolic muscle support. Before coffee, have a small bowl of kiwi or guava. This wakes up your digestion, delivers vitamin C for collagen repair, and gives you the antioxidants your muscles crave first thing in the morning. Step 2. Mid-morning, nourish with muscle-friendly fats. Make a smoothie with 1/2 avocado, frozen wild blueberries, unsweetened almond milk, chia seeds, and a scoop of collagen or plant-based protein. This fuels your mitochondria and feeds your muscles with healthy fats and anthocyanins. Step 3. Post-lunch, stabilize with resistant starch. Eat a half-ripe banana, especially if you're moving a lot or walking. It helps your muscles retain glycogen and balances insulin, key for keeping muscle on, not fat. Step 4. Evening antioxidant defense. Enjoy a small glass of diluted tart cherry juice or a handful of frozen berries after dinner. This supports overnight recovery, lowers inflammation, and helps you sleep, which is when growth hormone does its repair work. Step 5. Stay consistent. Rotate these fruits daily, not for variety's sake, but for spectrum. Each fruit family gives you different phytochemicals. Think of it as nature's multivitamin, but smarter. Now remember, fruit alone isn't the whole story. You still need protein, especially from clean sources like eggs, grass-fed beef, wild fish, and collagen. Movement, walking, bodyweight resistance, light strength training. Intermittent fasting or eating windows to reduce inflammation and improve insulin sensitivity. Hydration and electrolytes, sodium, magnesium, and potassium are essential for muscle function. But here sits the real takeaway. You don't need a gym membership, expensive supplements, or complicated routines to reverse muscle loss. You just need consistency. Nature is already providing what your body needs. You simply have to choose it. So start today. Go to your kitchen. Open your fridge. What's missing? If you're over 60 and you're not seeing green fruits, citrus, berries, or avocados, that's not just a nutritional gap, that's a muscle loss risk. And the good news is, it's entirely within your control to fix. Let me leave you with this. Your body is not broken. It's adaptive. It's waiting for direction. Every bite you take tells your body what you want it to do. Do you want to build? Do you want to stay strong? Do you want to heal? Then feed your muscles accordingly. Feed them with wisdom. Feed them with intention. And feed them with the fruits that time forgot, the ones your ancestors used not just to survive, but to thrive into old age. You have got this. If you found value in today's lecture, please subscribe to Healthy Aging Wisdom, where we turn science into strength and aging into a season of restoration, not decline. Together, let's rebuild what time tried to steal.